This picture is beautiful. This couple is beautiful. They represent black love. They represent what I preach about when it comes to us being united, when it comes to us loving each other, when it comes to you loving yourself as a black man and as a black woman. No need to go outside of your own community. No need to go to your enemies for love or validation. The only love you need, the only validation that really truly matters for the true people in our community who love themselves is the validation, the acceptance, and the love of their own people. Yes, I know that there are people in this community who don't love us because they have been hypnotized, brainwashed, and totally transformed into the mindset of the oppressor. And it's sad that we have people like that, but we have to wake up and realize that those people cannot be saved because they don't want to be saved. And it's terribly sad that we have people that have platforms, black YouTubers that have these massive followings of black people on Twitter, on Facebook, on YouTube here, on other social media outlets. And instead of using their platform with the followers that they have, which are sometimes in the millions, okay? Instead of preaching being together, instead of preaching about black love, instead of preaching about not all black men are evil and not all black women are evil, and you can find love in your own community instead of stepping outside of it, they preach going to other people, especially mainly the people who perpetrate hatred the most against you, and they want nothing more than to divide us by deception. They pass it off as saying that they're helping black women, they're helping black men. You're not helping black men, you're not helping black women when you're telling them to divide themselves and separate themselves from their own people. If I'm telling a black man he shouldn't be with a black woman because black women, all of them are evil, I'm not doing that man any favors. I'm not doing him, any justice right there. And the same goes for any black woman that gets on and talks about every evil thing that black men do and talk about all black men need to die and we should not, we sisters should not get, together and mess with these men as a collective. We should all find happiness outside of our community. Nobody is helping you when they're telling you to leave the people that look like you and me. That's not helping you. That's hurting you. And despite Asian people, Arab people, Hispanic people who deal with white supremacy too, and some of them even embrace it, they're not getting out there and calling for the separation of their people. Only black people are doing that. Don't you realize that there is a problem, that something is really wrong with that when you're only seeing black people promote interracial dating as much as it's being promoted? They are almost on a level of the media promoting this shit. And I'm not calling all black people out on this shit, but there is a big majority of black people out there that just don't want to be with each other. They have been brainwashed into believing that the only way they're going to have an everlasting and loving relationship is if they get with someone who is not looking like them, someone who is not part of their community. I don't understand how you could even believe that, especially in the times that we live in now, when the proof is in the pudding that these people are not the best choice for you. They're not even the best option for you. This shouldn't even be an option for you at this point. And to further prove my point about these people who look like you and me but cause the divide in the community by deception and deceit, they talk about all the negatives that the opposite sex does to the other. They talk about all the negative things. They don't talk about the positive. They say there are no positives. So there's no positives for black men. There's no positives for black women. I guess the future of our children is doomed then. If there's no positives for the man or the woman in our community, it makes no sense. But you'll never hear these people talk badly or speak negatively of the dominant society. And yes, you people know who I'm talking about when I talk about the dominant society. Yes, you do. But these people, they won't talk about the dominant society in the most negative way at all. But they'll definitely talk about their own people in a negative way. And when you talk about your people in a negative way, you can critique your people. You can show them what they're doing wrong and then, try to suggest what they can do to make things right. But when you intently, purposely do nothing but show the negative side of your people and there are no positives, you don't love yourself. You damn sure don't love your people. Because nobody that loves their people will badmouth them in the way that these people badmouth us on YouTube. You gotta remember, the whole world is watching YouTube. There's billions and billions of people that use YouTube every single day. And the fact that we got black people on here that are saying, oh, get with a white man, get with a white woman, and don't be with your own. You're going to tell me that is not a problem, but it's a problem when black people who don't feel the same way and don't have the same ideals and mindset like that say they want to be with their own, that they're racist? No, you're an asshole. How about that? Pictures like this make those swirlers, make those white supremacists, make those coons angry when they see pictures like this. They don't like seeing the black man and the black woman together because coons and swirlers work together with white supremacy to keep the oppression going. They already gave their hearts to the oppressor. And if you don't give your heart to the oppressor, you're their enemy. And they will do everything to tear you down. They will get your channels removed. They will try to silence your voice. There have been times when these son of a bitches have gotten people killed for the sake of white supremacy. Agents is what we call them, because that's what they are. Agents of the devil. Because you are doing deviltry when you are trying to destroy the love that your own people have for each other. But then you want to, promote the love for massa. It's not the way it works, and that's not the way it's going to work. As much as there are some really hurt and misguided black women out here, as well as hurt and misguided black men out here who want nothing to do with each other, there are even more black people who do want to be together and do want to have a family and do want to get married to each other and want to be with each other for the rest of their lives. That's not a fairy tale. Your swirling is a fairy tale because it's not based on love. It's based on the color of somebody's skin. And I'm getting sick and tired of hearing that woman say it's character over color. It has never been character over color when the same type of men are being promoted. And even though they promote Asian and Hispanic and other types of men, those men in the dominant society are the ones that are promoted most. That's not character over color at all. So basically you're telling me that white men have character and no other man does then, right? That's the logic there. And watch the swirlers come in on this and they want to argue with me again. But this time, no matter who it is, I'm not responding to them. Because at this point, if you can't see that this does damage to the community by the men doing what they're doing with these non-black women and what the women are doing with these non-black men, if you don't see the damage it's doing, then you will never understand. You'll never see because you don't want to see. That's why I thank God that not every single black person in the community practices this shit. I'm glad they don't. Only misguided, self-hating idiots are the ones that fall for this and will continue to do it and continue to get on YouTube videos and tell us how better white men and how better white women are. Nobody else does that but black people. And it's actually really fucking embarrassing. Every time a black man clicks on the channel like Tommy Sotomayor, every time a black woman clicks on a channel like Crystalline Carras, Egypt Ann or Brooklyn Blue, a black man goes to, channels like Mad Bus Driver or, Solotov TV or Reluctant Nobby, all you're doing is falling for bullshit, falling for deviltry, And then it's going to ultimately make you participate in the division of your own people. When you swirl with these men of the dominant society, and when you swirl with these women of the dominant society, you are giving in to the oppression. You are saying it is okay. It is okay to be oppressed. You accept that. You are inferior to them. You accept them as your superior. That is exactly what you are doing. You accept white supremacy. You accept the situation that you're in when you get involved with these people. If these people were out there doing things, and I'm talking about for years, doing things and, speaking out against the racism in their own communities against you black people, then I would say, you know what? I got respect for those people of the dominant society. But they stay quiet. They don't give a shit about your plight. But once it's time for them to have their little issues going on and they have problems they need to get resolved, they want you. They want your numbers. They want your support. But they can't give you the same satisfaction when it comes to your turn. And that's not right. And it never will be right. I'm not going to support no black woman being in no relationship with the man of the dominant society. And I damn sure is not going to support no black man being in a relationship with a woman of the dominant society. These people do nothing for us. We get nothing out of being with them. Well, in a way, let me scratch that. The people who get involved with these particular people, they get validation out of that because they want the validation from their master. And the people in the dominant society that are with these people get sex. That's what they get. This shit is never based on love. Never based on love when it comes to these types of relationships. And if there are relationships out there that last long, hey, more power to you. But the majority, and I'm talking about the majority of these swirling relationships, never last. Whether it be a black man or a woman of the dominant society or a black woman with a man of the dominant society, it doesn't last long. And I don't care what they say about, black women and white men, relationships last longer. It's horseshit. It's absolute horseshit. The only time it's going to last is if the woman loves that white man and loves the fact that she's with that white man. That's all that matters to her. And when I say love, I'm saying that she's into the fact that he's white and he's my white knight. And the same thing goes with the black man with his white woman. The same thing. They get mad at black people for talking about their relationships. And then they turn around and talk about how black men are not responsible for their children and how black women are horrible mothers. But then you have women out here who are, busting their ass and doing everything they can to be a single mother. If they're a single mother, you have black men out here who do everything to be with their children, even if they're broken up with their woman. There was a man that committed suicide a couple of years ago because his wife or his girlfriend did not let him see his son, a black man. He wanted to see his son, or I think it was either his son, maybe it was a daughter. I don't know what the gender was, but he was so distraught that he took his own life. Did a video on Facebook and took his own life because the woman would not let him see his son. So there are black men out here and black women out here who are responsible parents and who are in loving and lasting relationships, but you want to continue to lie to the women and the men that watch you because you're making the money from all this division. I don't know how any black person who has a huge platform like the people that I named in this video can live with themselves, even if they're getting a lot of money. I don't care. How can you live with yourself making money off the division, off the deceit and deception of putting your people against each other? You prey on women that have bad relationships with black men, and then you use examples of black men killing women, of killing black women as an example for them not being with black men, that they shouldn't be with black men. But you don't tell about the stories of the white men that do that to their own women and to black women. And black men do the same with their bullshit tales of black women doing this and that. But they don't talk about the white women doing the same shit. You're only telling one side to tell. Your side. You're not telling the real side. The truth. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you, and I'm telling you from the bottom of my heart, I love you very much, and I want you all to succeed. I really do. But when you listen to channels that tell you to swirl, when you listen to channels that tell you that black women are this and black men are that, you don't love your people, and you damn sure don't love yourself. And you're doing a disservice to yourself by even listening to these people because they don't give a shit about you. They're not helping you. They're hurting you. And they don't give a shit about this community. Not one damn bit. The only thing that matters to them is the money that goes right into their pocket or their bank account.